Good morning, everybody. Great to see you, and thank you for sticking around for the best of the fireside chats today. So really excited to be with you. Hope everybody is enjoying the event thus far, and a lot of great discussion around innovation, AI, and certainly digital transformation. The last ebankIT Summit, I sat on stage and shared with everybody ebankIT's hopes, aspirations, and even goals for the U.S., and one of those that I shared and outlined was that the next summit, we would have a U.S. bank attending, and so I'm super excited to be here today with Dixie and Jean-Philippe and Vinco from Metropolitan Commercial Bank in New York City. So thank you so much for being here and also sharing some perspectives. So
thank you.
Before we get going, Dixie, why don't you please share with the group just a little bit about yourself and Metropolitan Commercial.
Sure. I'm embarrassed to say I've been in commercial banking in the U.S. market for 30 years, a very long time. I've been at Metropolitan as the Chief Operating Officer for 5 years now. Prior to that, I was at 2 other New York City commercial banks as well. Metropolitan has been in existence for 26 years. It was founded in 1999, and one of the founders is still our president today. It is a New York City-based bank, commercial bank, focused primarily on the lending, commercial lending market, but it also has some focus on some higher risk deposit verticals that we can talk a little bit more about as well.
Awesome, awesome. Well, you know, it's exciting when, we talk about digital transformation, digital modernization. It means a lot of things to different people. Metropolitan is in the midst of this journey, but what's extremely exciting to share is just 2 weeks ago, Metropolitan recognized in the Bank Tech Awards US, Best Omni-Channel Onboarding Solution. So, I mean, the bar now has been set.
Yes, it has.
High, right? And that's only one submission.
Right. We'll have 5 more next year.
Yeah, that's right. But super excited to be able to share that with you. So if you would, for the group, just share a little bit about how did Metropolitan approach digital transformation or modernization? I mean, what were some of the primary drivers, business objectives of what started this journey for you?
So when I came on board at Metropolitan 5 years ago, I started looking around at my various departments, and I looked at the technology stack that we had, and I said, oh my God, this is like 1985. So we set out with the help of Jean-Philippe, a CIO at Metropolitan, to really what we call our foundation was broken, right? We really needed to reanalyze our technology infrastructure stack. It had been operating on the same stack that it started at as a de novo bank.
Wow. Okay.
So it was still operating on this old kind of thrift platform that wasn't conducive to the type of clients that we were trying to attract and to the type of businesses that we were trying to attract. Over the years, there had been a lot of workarounds to kind of patch the systems together. It was just causing a lot of operational friction. And, as the chief operating officer, I can't keep adding to staff. I have to think about different ways to enhance operational efficiency and to make the customer journey better. So with that, it came down to realizing that we needed to change our core systems to really, for the back office, to have the support it needed to be able to produce the products that we wanted to produce. So we set out to really think about where can we get an API first technology stack that will help meet the needs of our clients today, help meet the needs of our clients 25 years from now, and just keep the bank going and able to attract those new clientele. We tout ourselves as an entrepreneurial bank, but our technology stack didn't speak to that. The digital banking experience was very disjointed. It looked old. And it wasn't competitive at all for the New York City market, let alone probably any market, maybe, I don't know, somewhere in Nebraska somewhere, I don't know. But it definitely wasn't conducive for the types of clients that we had and we wanted to continue to attract. So that was really the impetus to start our, it's been a 2.5-year journey now. John Philippe's raising his eyebrows, it feels like 10. But it's been about a 2.5-year journey, going out to look for best of breed. We knew in the US market, there are really 3 primary providers of technology that most community banks stick with. We knew we didn't want to do that. Most community banks say, okay, we're going to do Fiserv, we're going to do FIS, we're going to do Jack Henry. We knew we wanted a best of breed. We weren't afraid to look at some fintech options because we had fintechs as our clients as well. So that was really the driver for what set us out to start looking, not just across the North American market, but across the world globally to see what the best of breed might be for us.
I mean, that's awesome. And I think that's where a lot of people will naturally gravitate to is the technology and the technology stack and what needs to be done. And then once some decisions are starting to be made around technology, Carrie made a really good point yesterday in her session that people are also extremely important. And so while some of the technology may be a legacy, there may also be a legacy perspective from the employees. And so how has Metropolitan gone about encouraging or getting people on board and supportive and embracing and maybe even championing the transformation strategy?
Yeah, it started with really developing a really strong and robust communication plan for our internal staff, for our external vendors, and for our client base as well. We internally had to drive, like you said, that idea that, listen, we're going to be enhancing our technology stack. There's going to be a lot of efficiencies, and it's going to benefit you. Again, people always fear my job. I'm going to lose my job. I'm going to lose my job. No, this is about you need to be the advocate for telling us how is your job. How can we make your job easier? What do we need to develop, to create? What processes do we need to change? What procedures do we need to change to help you be the best that you can be in your position? So that started with the communication plan. It started with team meetings. It started with drilling in. Listen, you are the subject matter experts. We need your assistance. We need you to think outside of the box. Come up with the craziest idea. I don't care what it is, but think outside the box. We don't want to put the same process you have today into the new technology stack we have tomorrow. And, for some, it was exciting. For others, it was a lot of apprehension. But I think keeping that constant communication going, we developed an intranet site where they could keep up to date with what was happening on a continuous basis. We built technology communications that our account officers could send out to their clients and personalize so that they're aware. We have various training sessions. We meet with our account officers to explain to them where we are in the process. And we tell them what the enhancements are so that they can sell the solution to their client base as well.
So they feel almost like part of the process.
Correct.
Right? I mean, they have a voice in, I'm not sure if the design's the right word, but they have a voice and influence in the direction that the organization is transforming or transitioning or modernizing.
They absolutely do. And they actually do have a voice in the design as well because we wanted their input. What are your clients telling you? What are they not happy with about what Metropolitan brings to them? Why are they going to the Chases, the Cities, the B of A's, and not coming to Metropolitan for certain services? What is it about their journey as a customer that they're not happy with? So we needed their input for that as well. So they helped us design the solutions.
That's awesome. That's awesome. And so you had mentioned you're 2.5 years into the journey, 2.5 going on 30 at times it probably feels like. And so I'm sure over that 2.5 years, there have been learnings along the way. And so what would you say, or can you share just a couple of those key learnings that, there's a saying that, the rearview mirror is a 55-inch screen TV. And so what are some of those kind of couple of key learnings that you've seen thus far?
I think one of the major things that we needed to understand, we did understand it, but I don't think we understood it to the extent going into the project, is the governance around the project, to keep the project going. When we first started on this journey, we visited a bank that we were interested in their technology stack and how they were doing digital transformation. And, we're talking to them, and they're like, okay, we're like 5 years in. And we looked at each other like, no, we're not going to do a 5-year journey. That is not happening. So we really needed to start the project with a very strong governance model, understanding all the risks. So we did a full risk assessment. We were very transparent with our board. We give our board monthly meetings, and updates about the status, where we are with the status. Our governance structure is very strict with executive meetings, team meetings, RAID meetings, so risk action meetings on a weekly basis. So just everything to make the project as transparent as possible so that we can make sure it keeps going. Our project plans are in sync. We have a program model, which all of our projects feed into. We have a program manager, we have project managers, we have BAs. I mean, we do have a very strong structure built up. It didn't necessarily start that way at the very beginning, but we've gotten there. We got there a few months in, and we've learned along the way what we needed to keep adding and where we needed to be even more transparent than what we believed we were being.
Yeah. And so I think for the group, Metropolitan is a New York-based bank, publicly traded bank, heavily regulated state.
Heavily regulated.
So there's a lot of different eyes, if you will, on what's going on and happening in the bank. So if you, when you look at your the transformation initiative, is it something that is continuously going to be evolutionary, or do you have like a stake in the ground that there's going to be a point in time where we are done?
No, I don't think you're ever really done, right? The technology in financial services is changing so dramatically, so quickly. I don't think you're ever done. I think there is a stake in the ground where we're done with this particular program, but it doesn't mean that there won't be iterations of that development with the technology stack that we have, or adding on to that with new technologies. So we'll keep that iteration going.
Well, and I can say that, as we've been working with you now for over a year in the project, it's refreshing to see that perception of continuous innovation, even in still the midst of the project. So kind of in a closing, few words or so, what would you share with the group as kind of key learnings, or any major takeaways or things other financial institutions to think about? You're down the road as a potential mentor. You went to a bank that had been down the road. What would your advice or consultation be to other financial institutions?
I would definitely say don't be afraid to look at the unknown providers necessarily in the market that you're in. I think there was a drive a long time ago to just kind of stay with that one provider and have all your eggs in one basket. But the way the clientele today interacts with the banking industry, I don't think that's a feasible idea anymore. So I think being open to new technologies, new solutions, new risk management, technology as well, I think is critical to going down this path. I think you have to really understand the vision of the company, where the company is heading, and don't overbuild if it's not necessary for your company. We weren't trying to build to be a Chase. We're trying to build to be, the next $25 billion at Metropolitan, knowing that this is our vertical, the middle market, the affluent base. What do those customers need? Really think through your customer journeys. I think understanding what you want your customer experience to be at the bank is critical, and I don't think enough people think through that at times. They kind of just take what's offered to them and go with it. But we really sat down, I would say, Vinco, probably for months, and just workflowed our customer journeys And we continue to do that as the solution develops, so.
And I think key to that is you know your customer.
Yes.
Right? I mean,
yes.
you know your customer base and where your sweet spot is in your lane. And I think you hit the nail on the head. You're not trying to be a Chase or
Right.
not trying to be something that is outside of, where your sweet spot or your best opportunities are.
Correct.
Awesome. Well, we're super excited to be on the journey with you and grateful for the opportunity. And next year, we'll have hopefully others. So thank you so much for being here and taking time to share your perspectives with the group.
Thank you.
Awesome.